So let's recreate some of those drawings and talk about them. Let's get a straight edge here. Yeah, sure. iPhone. We'll call yours flat, just to differentiate between our two models. In either case, molecules very dense, molecules not so dense, almost no molecules at all, right? Same thing here. Almost no molecules, right? So lots of molecules, almost no molecules. Both models say that there is a downward bias, right? So we're still on the same page. Downward bias. This bias, most flat earthers, most on any model, tend to say, okay, sure, fine. We can call that bias little g. And g tends to be around 9.81 meters per second squared as an acceleration. So far, we are model agnostic. Your model, my model, doesn't matter. So far, we're agreeing that there is many molecules, lesser molecules. Everybody seems to agree on the pressure gradient. Everybody seems to agree on that there's an acceleration downward. Gravitas means heavy or serious. So I think we're past saying that little g doesn't exist. We know that there's an acceleration which is repeatable and demonstrable. So the flat Earth model is going to say that the bias is going to be due to electrostatics, and the bias downward g on the globe model is going to be mass. Other than that, this is actually false via experimentation. I'll give the link, null result on weight with up to, I think it's 200,000 volts, changed the weight 0. Now, both models say that there's a bias downwards for different reasons. Sure, fine, whatever. We can solve that later. Now, the difference is the flat Earth claims that there is a dumb, whereas the globe model doesn't require that. Why? Because there's a bias downwards at 9.81 meters per second squared, and molecules are matter. So that's why there's no need for a physical dumb. No need for a container. Okay, so we're going to reference this. Either model, 1,000-ish millibar, 1,000 millibar of pressure, right? But at the height that the highest aircraft flown by an American has ever been is, this is at 0 feet AGL. The highest is 350,000-ish feet. At 350,000 feet, we are at 7.41 times 10 to the negative 4 millibar. That is an enormous difference. 1,000 millibar. So let's figure it. So this is the same here. 7.41 times 10 to the negative 4 millibar. All right, what's this? Grab my calculator here. The difference in pressure between sea level and 350,000 feet is, at sea level pressure in either model, 134,952 times more pressure at sea level. Another way of saying that is 134,952 times less pressure at 350,000 feet. So my question is, what is it the dumb is doing? There are nearly no molecules of any form of atmosphere at that altitude. They are so sparse that they do not have the ability to transfer energy from dumb, to the lower atmosphere. Ideal gas law, volume set equal to 1. Pressure is 134,952 times less, for obvious reasons. Fewer molecules, way lower temperature. Fewer molecules, less temperature, which means less energy. It's called the fundamentals of vacuum theory. What do we say this was? 10 to the minus 4? All right, so we're in the 10 to the minus 4. This is called a high vacuum. High vacuum. This is maintained by both models, right? High vacuum. Flat Earth is arguing that this dumb is creating the pressure of 1,000 millibars, 14.7 psi, right? It's 134,000 times less. So how does 134,000 times 135 less pressure create pressure in this contained system? This is anti-thermodynamics. You're saying, well, you know, there's some pressure up there. That's the latest flat Earth trope. I can't remember if it was, I saw it on one of the debates, and I can't find it right now, but it was either Flatzoid or Brian's Logic. Somebody said it where, well, it's the molecules bouncing off the dumb that's creating the pressure down here. It's like, no, this relative pressure can't exist in a contained system. In a closed system, this can't happen. So the dumbest part that Flat Earth believes is that a high vacuum creates pressure. Actually, here, let's do what they're doing lately. It presses. The dome has to press. They're capitalizing press. You need a dome to press on things. Okay, wait. If the dome is pressing on something, why is there a high vacuum? In physics, 10 to the minus 4 is in the category of high vacuum. This is not a straw man. This is not a logical fallacy. This is basically steel manning their argument because they've said it. They've admitted it. It's running like wildfire. They're all saying, well, no, you need to press this pressure into existence because it's called pressure. But this is where they've given away the farm. It's over. There's clearly no need for a dumb when in their contained system. Let's take the flat Earth model. I'm not straw manning, I'm steel manning their argument. They're saying that this is open and that there's this many molecules here of gas and there's this many molecules here of gas. And this valve is open, that this is high pressure and this is high vacuum. So they like to talk about near total vacuum. This rates the highest altitude we've been with an aircraft, not a spacecraft, an aircraft, rates high vacuum. So near total vacuum, same. So both models. The globe does not claim that high vacuum creates pressure. The globe simply states that the bias, G, the acceleration, creates pressure. An acceleration of air against a surface creates the pressure. This is accelerating, and they start bouncing off the bottom surface as well as each other. That creates the pressure. Same here, really, except the Earth isn't flat. And there's no dumb, because this is an area of high vacuum, right here, with an open valve to an area of high pressure. Relative to what we are used to here at sea level, physics determines this to be high vacuum, 10 to the minus 4 millibar. So this is the dumb thing. This is the feather in the cap of the globe. Please remember the way I put this, worded this, and hit them with it as often as possible. This is steel manning their argument. They say there's some molecules up here, so that's what's bouncing off the dumb, and that's what's creating the press. Now, remember the way I said this, and let them try to argue that that's not what they're saying here. The dumb is creating pressure. So let's put these together. The dumb presses. That's their argument. The problem is, at that altitude, it's a high vacuum. It rates as a high vacuum, near total vacuum, because it's high vacuum. That's why. This is when sending people up to 350,000 feet, with the X-15 aircraft program, when sending people up to that altitude, they had to prepare for what's called high vacuum. They needed to construct the aircraft in such a way that the pilots were protected from high vacuum, near total vacuum, 134,952 times less pressure. This is the funny part right here, the flat earth argument. They've said it multiple times now. There's no denying it. They've said that high vacuum creates pressure because the dome is creating that pressure by pressing. Okay, it's pressuring by the molecules bouncing off that. Not very many molecules, not carrying that energy down here. The bias is all you need. You want to argue it's electrostatics? Go for it. The dumb is still irrelevant. The dumb is not necessary. The dumb is dumb.